From the central coast of New South Wales, Australia, it's the #1 podcast for the X-Men animated series. This is Generation X-Men with Bender and Brooksy.
Yes, it is. Thanks, Steve. This is Generation X-Men. I'm Bender, and with me, as always, is Brooksy.
Hey, hey.
Like the name suggests, we are Generation X-Men, and you are too. If you're new to this, what we'll be doing is going through all 5 seasons of X-Men the animated series, one episode at a time, giving you our thoughts, X-Quiz, tally time, and most importantly, having a laugh as well. Now, the Phoenix Saga Part 5, Child of Light. The last of the Phoenix Saga, and my favourite recurring character, Crowther's here with us again. Howdy. Yeah, we needed you here today, Crowther. We needed you here because you're bringing it in for Deken at full power. Were you disappointed?
I was not.
You asked me if there was going to be heaps of laughs. There was so many laughs. Oh, yeah, in full glory. We'll break that down shortly. But we also got Marvel movie news returns. We're talking Spider-Man European Vacation or Spider-Man Not So Far From Home. I mean, with a title like that, when you think, okay, Spider-Man's in space, it's going to be cool. He's in England.
Yeah, not that far.
And he's in Venice. Was he in Venice? Is he looking for the directions to the Holy Grail? What's going on here?
He's looking for the library.
Is he going to find a library? Also, guys, we got my review for Aquaman.
Oh, no. What the hell? Marvel movie news.
Generation Mailbag returns with a lovely review in the bag. And I'm going to break down the episode later. But before we get into that, it's time for X-Quiz.
Pop quiz, Hotshot.
Pop quiz!
Pop quiz, asshole.
Time for a surprise quiz?
Won't be a pop quiz on Wednesday. There's a pop quiz. Pop quiz.
All right, Crappy, how many did you get?
How many what? How
about you, Bender?
How many times does Paige... Oh, never mind. I'm watching Charmed here. Well, why is Piper dressed like that for?
Hey, Generation X-Men, not Generation Charm.
Generation Charmed?
It's coming soon.
The reboot's coming. For the listeners who don't know why we're laughing like lunatics right now, we're out in a lounge room recording. Brooksy's left the TV on mute and we're just watching Charmed while we're being cooled by the air conditioner. So it's going to be a little bit distracting for me.
It was because Days of Future Past was on and you were too distracted by that.
Yeah, just put something else on. I'll always be watching Days of Future Past. Now it's watching a weird season of Charmed where I don't know what's happening. But what are we up to? X-Quiz. I only have one question. How many questions do you have?
I've got one question, and then I've got a few of the things that happen that I've got listed that we can go through.
Okay, well, seeing how you have the most, you get to go first.
Okay, so when we flash back to Jubilee on Earth, she's blowing a bubble with bubble gum.
Yeah.
What colour is that?
Do you remember, Crowther?
Green.
I think it was just like yellow.
It was yellow.
Yeah, weird banana flavoured.
Boom.
Now this is an open question for both y'all. In the episode, Deken's in it, and Deken's very happy. How many times does Deken laugh in the episode?
I didn't think he stopped laughing.
How many you reckon, Crowther?
Oh, 6.
I'll go 7.
That is weak, guys. He laughs 15 times. Yeah. I thought you'd be rolling your eyes, Crowther, because every time he laughed, I looked over at you and you just sort of just accepted it. But I was just like, oh man, so he's laughing again.
Well, I win closest without going over.
You get to play for the showcase.
Okay, so when we go around the world with Carmen Sandiego,
I was going to say Daft Punk.
Can you name the places and the mutants that we see in each place?
I'll go first. There was West Africa, which was whack to me. It's like, why wouldn't there be? I didn't know there was a West Africa. It was just Africa and South Africa. But I think the Fast Kid was there.
Yeah, what's his name? It's your favourite episode.
It is my favourite episode with Shadow King. It's not Ileana. That's Colossus's
That's right.
sister.
That's magic.
Mijnari, that's his name.
That's him.
Oh,
So
Mijnari.
that's the second one.
Oh, is it the second one?
Yeah, and actually during that sequence, they're at a place. There's a
plaque on the...
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Hotel or something?
You got it, Crowther?
This
The place set? It was the Africa Beach Inn.
Oh, okay.
Don't have beaches in Africa.
And then he was herding everyone to the shelter. And then there's a shelter sign. So the first place, do you remember what it was?
Is that Japan?
That's
That's
right.
right around Mount Fuji.
They were. Do you know who the
It's Bullet Train.
The Asian Human Torch.
what's his name, Bender?
Sunfire.
Sunfire.
Yes.
And then we cut to
There's New York City,
yes,
and Spider-Man shows up and thwips a park bench that was about to crush somebody.
And
Professor
then-
X is shocked, and then War Machine comes in there
Sits.
and saves some random children.
and then where do we go to?
I can't remember, but it was that big chieftain guy who saves
Apache
it.
Chief.
Apache
There's a building
Chief.
fall on him.
You nupchuck. Shaman.
Endo the
says-
Apache.
Well, Aldo the Apache. Well, he was in Repo Man, so was he in Canada?
It was Athens, Greece.
Oh, what's he doing in Greece?
I don't know his travel habits, but he also had another.
It's a long way to canoe.
Well, when he nupchucks, he just rides a tree in there, and it's much quicker.
He had another of the what are those guys called? The Canadian Special Forces guys.
Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight. He had another Alpha Flight member with him.
Was it Puck?
It was Snowbird.
Oh, it's the girl,
flying in
the
the air.
one that flew. I remember her.
And then we go back to New York. Do you remember what happens then?
A storm stops the water from crashing over the Golden Gate Bridge.
That's it.
Yeah.
You got any more questions?
No, I don't have any more questions.
What about you, Kriappa?
Nah.
My last question is when the Phoenix needs help from all the X-Men,
Yes.
what does she get from each
Oh,
person?
jeez, I can't remember.
Do you want me to give you the person and then you can try and tell me? Or
Yeah, that sounds good.
So the first person she asked for is Professor. What does
Yup.
she get from Professor?
You want to have a guess, Kraft? Because I got one.
I got no idea.
Is it wisdom?
It's wisdom.
Oh, right.
Oh, this the Christmas tree thing.
Yeah. The X-Men Christmas tree. No, this is when her face is superimposed over the bird and looks really weird.
Yeah. She's got Jean face, Firebird.
Yeah. And she's just looking at all these floating faces.
And so the next floating face is Storm. What should get our Storm?
Is it compassion?
Compassion.
Oh, man, I'm doing better than I thought.
Beast is the next one.
Wisdom.
No, that was Professor X.
Already got wisdom and compassion. What do we get from Beast?
This is your guess, Crowther. Oh, who's that?
It's not fur on the rug.
Pretty sure it is. You're living outside, Beast.
They'll be stop shitting on my line.
Nah, I don't know.
Is it guidance?
Honor?
Oh.
Oh. No, it's not those.
Oh, damn it.
It is gentleness.
Oh.
And then we get Jubilee. What does she get from Jubilee?
Reckon VCR, mate.
Broken VCRs.
What's another word for being little? Innocence?
Innocence.
Man, I'm doing so well at this.
And then we go to Logan. What she get from
The
Wolverine?
courage.
That's got to be courage.
Courage.
She's brave.
He's the cowardly lion. And then,
I tell you.
and then we get Cyclops.
And Cyclops is love.
That's it. So there's no Rogue and no Gambit. What would you get from Rogue and Gambit?
Her raw sex. poo.
Entendres.
Entendres for days.
I thought you were going to say an STD.
Oh, that's Gambit. So Gambit is giving the STIs.
What about Rogue? What you going to get from Rogue? Sassiness.
That's what I thought was raw sex appeal. That's why I thought playing Rogue first. Her sultriness. Wants to shag everybody but can't. Her chastity?
Sexual frustration.
There it is. But she tears up beer labels so much. Choose on ice while the rest of them.
You're the bartender.
All
you
the
gotta
things you accused me of whenever I was just bored at a bar. Oh, tearing up Kosa, sexually frustrated.
drink more.
Previously on X-Men.
So previously on X-Men went for 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Very good.
And I have some reporting to do. I have now done every episode up to date. All 33 of them that we've done.
With some very interesting findings
Yes.
for the runtime of the previously on X-Men
I
recaps.
can tell you the runtime on every episode. And the last couple of episodes where I've been saying feels like longer, it is.
Ah,
They're like a minute 30 something, where they're mostly around a minute.
Mm.
And then we've had a few there that have been a minute 34, minute 36.
So it's not a conspiracy anymore. Theory confirmed.
No, yeah, that's right.
Myth busted, eh?
So this previously on X-Men, we get back to the Phoenix telling them that the fate of the galaxy is in their hands. And then we get the Starjammers fighting the X-Men for the crystal. Mm-hmm. And then they take the crystal and Cyclops to Decan. Then Phoenix brings the X-Men to Cyclops. Mm-hmm. Then the X-Men fight the Imperial Guard in that big fight. And then suddenly Decan has the crystal and Gladiator has the Landra. And then Decan unlocks the power of the Mcron and makes the galaxy his.
Sure does.
So yeah, again, it's really twisted from what actually happened.
Now, Brooksy, do you have a line for me to start the breakdown? Seeing how I can't use any of the lines from the breakdown bumper.
That's exactly right. Just don't use any of them.
Well, I can't think of any other things.
Break it down, mofos.
Break it down! Break it down!
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Breakdown! Go ahead, give it to me. Breakdown. Where is she?
So today we are doing episode number 33. Season 3, Episode 7, The Phoenix Saga Part 5, The Child of Light. The original air date for this one was September 9, 1994. It was written by Mark Edward Edens and directed by Larry Houston.
On ya, Larry.
So the episode kicks off with our old mate Ken absorbing the energy of the crystal and getting big and pink. So we're going back just a little bit here. This is what happened last episode.
Yeah, a little rehash. Crawford, what'd you think?
I liked it.
He's getting big and
He's
turning.
big and everything.
He gets big and everything, and he turns into a crystal. Did you think that looked funny?
Yes.
And because once he turned to crystal, he starts laughing.
You fools! Your foolishness amuses me.
So he's a big fan of the I-beams too. Have you noticed that?
He's a fiend for him.
So yeah, he's I-beaming the X-Men and the Phoenix got shields up. Mm-hmm. But then the shields fail again.
Yes. And
Jean, she's sort of out of it again too here. She's almost faints again. So then Rogue decides she's going to have a go. She gets the I-beam business. And then Beast catches her. And then Wolverine gets a claw draw and a growl in for him and Gambit advance on it. And Wolverine gets it again. And Decan just starts his first laugh. He says, "You fools! Your foolishness amuses me."
He loves saying fools and foolishness.
He then gets really small and then gets sucked into the crystal.
You think that's it? Episode's over.
Like, what?
Roll the credits. We beat him.
The Phoenix then explains that Decan has been granted his wish and he is now one with the crystal and he's creating his own universe inside the crystal. And they all soon will be in there as well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a great plan to me. It's more like he's stuck in some sort of dream world. Well, he technically isn't conquering the universe. He's just stuck in his own little one.
Yeah.
I don't like it's not a great plan to me.
No, it's not too well thought out.
Yeah, I'm trapped.
Corsair then asked Chode to get the Starjammer out of here, and we hear his voice for the first time.
Yeah, we introduced to Chode, Kraft. What do you think of Chode?
He's the swamp man, right?
He's the big green lizard. What is wrong, Captain? We were coming to save you. Immediately looked at Kraft to see what his reaction was. You love him, don't you?
I do.
Someone that big and lumbering shouldn't be piloting a ship. His hands are too big for the controls.
He's just shouting the orders. He's got someone else pressing the buttons.
Okay. The ponytail pirate guy.
Raza al Ghul. Cab by Sun.
Cab by Sun. Last episode, Kraft, we did like a fan casting of who we'd cast as the Starjammers. That crazy guy with the mohawk, he'd make that Kamai sang from The Phantom, and I made him Jason Statham.
We differed a bit.
Yeah.
Phoenix then tells them all to get out of there, and she will try and use her powers of the Phoenix to contain the crystal. So she decides she's going to Firebird up again and transport them all to the Starjammer.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing we noticed, Crawford. Like they call themselves the Starjammer, and their ship is called the Starjammer. and they call themselves the Starjammers.
Who was named first?
That's exactly what I was going to put to you. Did they name their team after the ship? Or like, we're called Starjammers. Quick, everybody hop into the Starjammer.
Ship's got to be first.
Ship's got to be first. So you reckon Han Solo, if he had a team, they'd be called the Millennium Falcons?
That's it.
It's funny, last episode I kept calling them the Space Jammers. And Brooksy
didn't
didn't correct
notice
me.
that.
Brooksy didn't correct me at all. And I thought he was like taking the piss when I was listening to edit back. It's like, he didn't care or notice. That's how I know we're getting old. Oh, those Space Jammers, they sure know how to pilot that plane.
Yeah. So when they get on the Starjammer, they're already like a fair way away by now.
Mm-hmm.
And even under full magnification, they can only just see the outline of the Imperial ship.
That's right.
We also see the Imperial Guard here making a getaway on one of the smaller ships.
Yeah, they're tearing us out of there too.
Phoenix goes all eyeballless.
Yeah, she's got no pupils in her
Try
eye.
and contain the crystal.
She goes full Undertaker.
She says, I am the Guardian. Teach me to... This gets sucked into it straight away.
Your reading sounded like the Holy Grail. Yeah, inside the
castle. He must have died while carving it.
Well, he wouldn't write across there.
He'd just say it. That's more surprise than alarm.
In the back of the throat. Shall we carry on?
The crystal then emits these large blue hoop rings out of the galaxy.
It's like a weird sort of tractor beam.
Yes, because it stops all the ships in their tracks and engages a tractor beam.
Everyone goes full Star Trek when they crash and they start rocking about in the thing. That's why I think spaceships should have seatbelts, right? All these problems would be solved if they just buckled up.
It's true. Landra's spot on here. She knows the Phoenix has failed. And they watch the Imperial cruiser implode on the monitor. Then we go to the ad break with this epileptic fit-inducing strobe lights. Did you notice that? Oh my god!
I was too busy fitting out.
When I was watching it on the iPad, it was just flash. I was like, oh man!
I woke up 5 seconds later.
It wasn't as bad on the big TV, like in the bigger room.
It's like watching Dragon Ball Z again.
Yes. Fighting Freezer. Back from the break, and Corsair decides their next course of action. Open fire on the crystal.
I would. What are you doing? Trying to live.
That's the next one.
Just shoot the crystal.
But it had no effect.
That's what Gladiator reckons.
Get used to that line.
It has no effect.
The rings then make their way back to Earth, where we find Jubilee, and she's still at Cassidy Keep.
Chewing some gum.
The sun then looks like it turns into an eyeball. It gets like a pupil. And the pupil gets bigger and bigger, and it's all black.
An eclipse type deal.
Yeah. Storm is then on a monitor like she's given the 6 p.m. mutant news.
The weather report, right, Counter?
She
That's what it looked like.
Cerebro reports environmental disturbances everywhere around the world. And she's standing in front of a monitor on a monitor.
Yeah. I was going to turn that into a meme, just have her repeated a million times in all the monitors.
Oh, man. And it turns out this is the professor. He's in the Blackbird watching this monitor, and he's got Banshee and Moira in there with him.
Give us the Tim Bailey thing that he says.
The business of the Broly.
Business of the Broly, go.
Predicted precipitation, drips and drops across rooftops and top crops. He also says that in the backyard, if you don't mind. There's 26 here in Sydney. Not careful, where's Tim Bailey?
Dead, that's right.
He's in the tanning salon. Brown motherfucker.
Jubilee then runs and tells him the sun is fading away. And the professor's just like, yeah, I already know. How do you know, mate? You're inside. The professor's also in his dark green jumpsuit here. He's got the sleeves rolled up, the black gloves on.
It's an action ready professor. Got to change those channels fast.
The professor explains that they have found a phenomenon much like a black hole, an enormous gravitational force near the sun. And they must assume it's the Mcron crystal, drawing everything into it, even the sun's light.
Ooh.
Jubilee says, there must be a way to stop it. And then the professor goes, there is one hope. The X-Men.
So while we're watching, Professor, you don't need to call your shots like that. We know they're going to have a try. Good old-fashioned try.
So we come back into space here. We go to the Starjammer, and Corsair is still trying to fly away from the crystal, but it's not happening.
It's not working.
Gambit senses the end here and says he's going to go out in style. He's going to go out nice and happy and pulls Rogue in for a kiss. That's when the Starjammer is then sucked into the crystal and crashes to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
They all pop out of the Starjammer, and Beast gets in a fascinating.
He sneaks a fascinating in.
Outside is mostly red, and there's like these throbbing
hemorrhoids. That's what they are.
They're all over the floor, and then there's lightning in like a red sky above them.
Yeah, it looked like a Zordon tube with a little red dot in the middle of it, lightning flashing in the background, purple skies, and there's this Earth, and running through the Earth are just hemorrhoids everywhere, veins and hemorrhoids. So what are we in the galaxy's anus right now? Are we? It's just awful. I would not want to be there.
Lilandra and Gladiator are the first out of the ship, and Lilandra asks, "What of Decan?" And he replies,
What of Decan? He lives! Show yourself. You wish to see me. Behold! The power of a living galaxy. Soon the universe will tremble.
Wolverine then pops claws and decides if they're going to go out, he might as well go out and shut this guy up.
Yeah, we should explain Decan is now the biggest man in the universe now. Look closer, Lenny. That's all I thought of. He's just big. Was that what you do with Ultimate Power Crap? You just grow yourself
just get massive.
11 feet tall?
Nah, 12.
12? There's Kraft with all his inherited power. He could have fixed world famine, but he just made himself 12 feet tall.
Totally worth it.
But yeah, Gambit and Rogue cop the eye beams, and Wolverine as well. Yeah, they're just. But Rogue doesn't get caught this time. She just hammers straight back into the bloody Starjammer.
Yeah, she slams into the Starjammer and falls down. At this point, she says something else and grabs a boulder, which she chucks at what's his name, Decan, and he just turns it into mashed potato.
Yep.
That was my note there. I was like, why did he turn it into mashed potato?
'Cause he can.
But it looks to me as like he's got all the powers of the Infinity Gauntlet in here. He can change...
He can do whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants. Like, he can change the mass of things into different materials and elements. He can grow heaps big. He's got laser beams.
To me, it was similar to like the Celestials, where like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where Ego could just do whatever he wants on the planet.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Similar to that.
Ah, right, yeah.
That's the vibe I was getting, especially with the throbbing hemorrhoids.
Oh, jeez. Just a bit of preparation H on all those. It should be fun. Yes, Frau, on the whole, preparation H feels good. You know what? I agree. I'll just call it Operation Ass Cream. You ass.
Yes, I'd love some chocolate ass cream. Maybe later.
Perhaps later. Anyway, let's carry on.
Ken then disappears. And then we cut to like a flat phoenix. She looks like the coyote and Roadrunner. She's just flat on the ground.
It's just like...
It was either that...
Like the coyote.
It was either that or she's like a blow-up doll that's just been flattened.
Oh, Wolverine would pick that up in no time. He'd get after that quick smart. But yeah, I don't understand why she looked like she got run over by a steamroller and she's flat like the coyote.
It must have been like, oh, where's Phoenix? Oh, she's flat on the ground. Just do that.
That's so weird. That's of all the things that happen in the episode, that's the weirdest because it's never explained. So, okay, she's flat now. It's like when the mask falls out of the window. Look, Ma, I'm roadkill.
Ken then appears out of the ground and Cyclops hits him with an optic beam, but again has no effect.
He's all in sort of dirt form now, right? He's like a giant mud Decan, Earth Decan. How good's Earth Decan, crowd?
He's pretty good.
Lalandra then runs in here, tries to reason with Ken, calls him a brother and that.
Dirt to Ken.
And says the crystal will destroy him and that he's trapped in there as they are. But Ken is not listening.
He's in denial.
He feels he's been reborn and he only needs to think of destruction for it to happen.
Reborn in dirt.
This is where he shoves his hand into the ground. Then they appear either side of the Starjammer and crushes it. Lalandra again tries to explain that the crystal is sucking the entire universe in and it will soon destroy everything. And they must stop it. The Ken just starts laughing. He's like, I hunger for it.
So we must join forces to stop it. And he's like, stop it? I hunger for it. And he laughs.
Gladiator then decides to have a shot at him. Big punch straight into the chest.
He had a funny line there.
Prepare to be destroyed, creature! You fight me, you insect!
Gotcha, big guy.
Prepare to be destroyed. Creature charges and punches him in the dirt chest. And it has no effect.
And then he just gets the chest beam.
He just gets the chest beam like the Iron Man arc reactor blast.
The Ken then crumbles his rock form and moves into hologram head form.
And he's everywhere.
His face becomes the screensaver. And he starts laughing again.
This is where he uses his like eye tractor beam thing on Lalandra and
Yeah.
puts her in that red orb.
Puts in a red orb, yeah. You got all the powers.
Then we go back to Earth, and the professor is still watching the screen. This is where we see the Mount Fuji erupting with Sunfire flying around, trying to disintegrate all that molten rock.
And the bullet train.
Then we head to the strong winds of West Africa with Nijnari. And then we go to New York, and we see a glimpse of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And then old War Machine comes flying in, picks up a woman out of trouble. Then go to Athens, Greece with a shaman, protecting a tourist from a falling pillar of the Parthenon.
Ooh.
Back to New York, Storm stops a tidal wave from crashing in one of the bridges.
Yeah, there's a lot of cameos in this
There is.
episode with even more to come.
Yeah. Storm freaking out on Earth. The Earth has gone mad.
It's mad. It's Mad Butcher.
We go back into the crystal, and Ken is still laughing. And he's now a full hologram form. He's like 40 foot tall now. He's back to being big hologram
Even
form.
bigger creature.
Big enough.
This is when everyone decides they're all going to have a crack at Ken at the same time. We get that big pan shot of everyone. They decide, let's do it.
Everyone's having a go. What's his name? Corsair's got the twin pistols shooting at the thing. What's the cat woman's creature name? Hepzibah's got the shotgun. Escrow for Hepzibah.
And Manta gives him the beams.
Gives him the beams.
Everyone's pretty much easily defeated, and then he creates a bunch of these Earthmen on the ground.
Yes, Earthman. The giant rock warriors are like Easter Island heads with arms and legs.
But they're like every multiple bad guy that's easily defeated.
They're rocks. They just knock them over.
This is when old mate Titan sneaks up behind him and grows the same size. And then one punch to Ken, he falls over, crumbles into 1,000 pieces.
And in that spot, that's when we hear the Terminator 2 shatter noise.
Crash, yeah. This is when he keeps laughing again, and he goes back to hologram head form.
And he's popping up to the left,
Popping
popping
up
up to the
everywhere.
right, taunting him. And I did the line, over here, my friend. Or am I over here? Simpsons reference when Milhouse goes into camouflage mode. But that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah. Before the Phoenix shows back up, Ken tries to double hand blast.
Oh, hold up. Kraft, have we missed any of your notes? Because you're taking notes.
Well, I gave up on notes.
Oh.
I was trying to keep up on all the ridiculous characters I didn't know. But I gave up at Red Alligator Man.
What about
He's my
Geodude
favourite.
with arms and legs? You love Geodude. Just looks like an alien.
Is that guy? Grey Alien Man.
Grey alien. So it's a real lazy day for creating characters, that one. Just do an alien. Anyway, where are we up to?
The Phoenix shows back up, and Ken tries to double hand blast, but no effect. Phoenix then teleports everyone to the land of Star Cruiser. beyond the reach of Deken's power, which doesn't really make sense. Like, so you already tried this before, it didn't work, and now Lalandra's ship is able to not get sucked into the...
Oh, yeah, that happened. Let's go back just a little bit. Once they're looking for Deken, where has he popped up? Two big hands come out of the ground and grab Titan. So Titan's already big, but these even bigger hands come up, and it's Deken, and he gets even bigger again. And that's when the world starts crumbling down, because he's run out of Earth for them to stand on, and that's when the Phoenix jumps in. But yeah, Lalandra's ship, I don't know why it's avoiding the tractor beam.
No.
It's got a special sort of alloy material or something. Or maybe just because Phoenix interrupted the tractor beam. She's learning.
When she was flat out, that's what she learned.
When she was being flat, she's being the coyote after a boulder squashed her. She's learning.
Again, after the teleport, Phoenix almost faints. Lalandra then comes up and asks, can she truly stop the crystal's power? And this causes Phoenix to almost pass out again when she's trying to explain it to her. She can't even explain the plan without passing out. I just got to, oh, jeez.
We need Dark Phoenix here. She was unstoppable. This Phoenix light is no good.
This is where Phoenix starts talking. She's like, Jean was chosen for her empathic ability. We have learned so much from the orb that is living in the center of the crystal.
Oh, man.
She felt its pain where I could not. I know now what must be done if I am strong enough. We must try to join with the matrix of the crystal's energy field, and the power of the Phoenix may be able to fix what Deken has broken.
Orbs
There
and
you go.
matrices, all sorts of shit going on.
That's how they fix it.
With the orb and the matrix crowd.
The Oracle as well.
Destroy
And
the
the one.
Matrix.
Phoenix is the one.
Matrix is a lie. Steak doesn't exist.
Cyclops isn't happy and wants to go with Jean, but he cannot go where she's going.
It's going into the sun, Cyclops. You don't want that at all.
Wolverine also gets a goodbye peck on the cheek here.
I'll get some Wolverine.
Oh.
Yeah, you see that, Cyclops? Yeah.
Get that idiot.
Jean then sort of floats up with Cyclops, gives him a proper pash,
Oh.
and then she firebirds up and flies out over and covers the crystal. This is your favourite part, where Jean's face then appears on the face of the Phoenix Firebird, and she calls for help from the X-Men. So this is where we get the wisdom from the Professor, compassion from Storm, gentleness from Beast, innocence from Jubilee, courage from Wolverine, and love from Cyclops.
Was that the weirdest part, Crowther?
I think so.
Fools! Your foolishness amuses me. I thought that was the weirdest part. Because when rewatching that by myself, I was like, I forgot that happened. And I thought, what is happening? Why is her face on there? It reminds me of the vampire doco movie, What We Do in the Shadows, when he explains that he can't transform into animals anymore. He can't get the heads right. So he transforms into a cat, but his head remains human. Just reminds me of that. He can never get the faces right.
All this work contains the power of the crystal with Deken trapped inside.
And before we get the X-Men Christmas tree. Crowther, was that the weirdest bit? Or would they both combine to create one
It was a pretty weird bit.
It's the weirdest
The
bit.
spirit of the X-Men Christmas saved the day.
Have an X-Men Christmas.
Xmas. The crystal and the Phoenix then explode into this bright, blinding light that covers the universe. So then we go back to Earth, and then it turns from the darkness back to the light. Jubilee asks, what this means? And Professor says, the X-Men have succeeded. The power of the crystal has been contained. But at what cost?
I say it all a bit convenient that Professor just knows all this stuff. Shouldn't
He's a
Lalandra's
telepath.
psychically tell him?
Yeah.
What's
How far can he do that?
What's his range? He needs Cerebro to keep looking at LA. He's not going to be able to. He's not be able to get to like the moon and the sun and back. It's all very convenient.
We head back into space now, and the X-Men and the Imperial Guard are on Lalandra's ship, and they are looking out at Jean's face made up of Phoenix fire. As she explains that the crystal is sealed, but the only way to ensure the power is never released again is for her to take it beyond the reach of any living being. The crystal cannot be destroyed even in the heart of the sun, but there it will be with her and it will be safe.
Put it in the sun.
This is where we get a flash through most of the X-Men and most of them crying.
Yeah.
And they know that Jean is sacrificing herself. So then Firebird's up one last time and flies directly into the sun.
No! You cannot contain the power of the crystal! You cannot! No!
The X-Men are then dropped back off on Earth at Cassidy Cape, and Storm is there now. She's finished her weather duties.
She's finished doing the 6:30 report.
So I don't know how she got there from New York.
New York to Scotland.
Flew over there
Yeah,
in 2 seconds. The professor tries to get Landry to stay with the X-Men on Earth, but she says that she is Shi'ar Empress now, and she must return to her world and set it right all the wrongs that Deken has done. So then flips the script on Charles. Says, you haven't come with me then, hey?
Oh, they both got commitment issues.
And then the professor uses the old, until there is peace between mutants and ordinary humans, I cannot leave.
First, it's like an argument. Well, I prefer sleeping in my bed. Whose bed do you want to bring to the new house? It's like, no, we're just going to keep both beds. Very petty, Professor. I'd go and be the Emperor right next to Lalandra. Kind of like the end of Masters of the Universe when that stupid cop just decides he wants to be a king in Castle Grayskull now. That's so good. That's the most normal decision I've ever heard in any movie. No, I'm not going to be a cop. I'm going to be a king. You still haven't seen that movie yet, eh, Brooksy?
What's that one?
Masters of the
I've
Universe.
seen it once when I was a kid and I didn't enjoy it. So.
Oh, come on. It's a classic. It's got Dolph Lundgren in it. He says,
so does The Punisher.
He says, bleh. Punisher was filmed in Australia.
I know, at Luna Park.
It's so good.
And the guy from Cheese TV's on it.
No, it's not. It's the dude from Ferals. Not Cheese TV. Anyway.
I'm pretty sure he's on there.
Who? Jade or Ryan?
I'm pretty sure Jade is in that movie.
Chuck it on.
Put it on right now. We'll settle this.
I do have it on Blu-ray.
Got a Blu-ray? Chopper doesn't have a Blu-ray. How the fuck is that Punisher on Blu-ray? Ah, dear me.
Okay, back to Corsair apologises to Cyclops for trying to use him against the Emperor.
I'm sorry, I've tried to make you kill that guy.
Yeah, but he doesn't apologise for kidnapping him and keeping him in that prison and that. That's all cool. He blames his dead wife again.
It's my dead wife's fault I made you do all these things.
And he says he now has to find a new reason to live. And Cyclops says, I have to too now.
Cyclops always making it about himself here. It's like everything he says, oh yeah, Jean was that way too. Oh, I guess I'll have to live that way too. So selfish, Cyclops.
Corsair is proud to have met Cyclops in the X-Men, and then he just takes off. Like he doesn't have like his children on Earth that
he's not going to go find his
Cyclops
kids.
is one of them that he doesn't know, but he's not even going to try.
Just tell him your real name, they just might figure it out.
Like the last
so
episode.
Corsair, what's your real name? Oh, blah, 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 Summers. That's my dad's name. What a coincidence. Well, bye.
The last episode, they were close to Earth, and he's like, I'd like to go back there. They just show up Cassidy Cape. That's enough for me. See you later.
Ugh, Scotland.
It reminded me of like The Simpsons, like the Bigger Brother episode where he's like, I'm so hungry, I've got this huge turkey, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Don't talk about food.
It's just going to go to waste.
They needed Bart there.
We needed Bart to connect Corsair and Cyclops.
Cyclops then tells Beast, I lost Jean, Corsair lost his wife. I wish we had a chance to talk. Well, they talk, for God's sake. Why does he have to get back to space so soon?
He's got to find another penis-shaped X-Wing.
Yeah, he doesn't have that no more. He's going to find a new bloody ship. He's going to call that Starjammer.
Or Starjammer 2.
Return of the Starjammer.
Oh, mate, we've got a movie title there.
Beast then quotes Emily Dickinson.
I believe Emily Dickinson said it best. Parting is all we know of heaven and all we need of hell.
Lalandra's parting words are, there are some bonds that can't be broken. We will meet again. Goodbye, Charles Xavier. Then flies off. So she'll be back.
She'll be back for him. She'll be back. Don't worry about that.
Wolverine then pulls out his old pick of Jean and Cyclops, which had the cigar burn in it. Remember that one from season 1?
That's still so weird. Just cut Cyclops away and throw him in the bin.
He half burned him out with a cigar. It's enough.
It's not nearly enough.
He then gives his little Jean moan. Jean. The professor then rolls up on Cyclops and says, "Do you know the legend of the Phoenix?" Cyclops is not interested in legends right now. But the professor continues because he's just a dirtbag. He says the Phoenix was a mythical bird.
You know who's dead like your girlfriend? The Phoenix.
The Phoenix was a mythical bird that was consumed by fire, but always rose again from the ashes. Perhaps that's what the Phoenix represents. Hope that never dies. Please think about this, Cyclops. Then floats off.
Because there will be a quiz once we get home.
Remember what I said about Phoenix? We then see the last washed out picture of Jean's face over the setting sun. And Cyclops softly says, "Jean." And then he starts crying. And that's the end of that chapter.
And that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah, just on that last sunset image of Jean, it was her in her full X-Men uniform. Wouldn't he remember her in her civilian clothes or something?
Or even like the Phoenix with her hair going everywhere.
Yeah, she's just full uniform with the Gambit sock, helmet mask on there. Just seemed like an odd ending frame to have on her.
So what did you think of this one, Crowther?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comments from the super coach.
I think it needed more laughing in it.
15 separate laughing wasn't enough.
What do you reckon, Bender?
I liked it. I think this was the most Phoenix of all the Phoenix Saga episodes. I would have liked all 5 of them to be this entertaining, but it makes sense to save the biggest and best episode for last. I mean,
that's true.
Everything Deken did was gold for me, and it's sad that this is the last we see of him.
Yep.
I'd have liked some sort of thing like, oh, you're banished to somewhere.
Another dimension?
And they get, just say some random enemy that they fight.
Hoboken, New Jersey?
I don't know. So he's there, the X-Men are fighting Omega Red or whatever, and the only way they can beat him is to banish him. They just banish him to the Mcron crystal, and he's got to chat to Deken forever and ever, and Deken's just laughing the whole time.
You fool!
You fool! Your foolishness amuses me. I think that would be a great, just to get a Deken cameo, because he's very charismatic, getting big and everything, using all the lasers, all the powers, just really overusing the power of the Mcron crystal. This is a very entertaining episode for me. Not so much badass moments, just a lot of maybe unintentionally funny moments.
Yeah, and they did tie the story up well too.
Yeah, they wrapped it up pretty tight here.
Yeah.
It paced very well, didn't feel like we were lagging anywhere or too far, so they tried to squeeze heaps in, remember the end of the Savage Land episode with Sinister? They just tried to squeeze all this shit in.
Yep.
This one felt like it was very evenly balanced.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, same sort of thing. Yeah, it tied it together well. Didn't feel rushed. They tied every loose end up. Left it open for continued.
Oh, yeah, hinting at, of course, that whole sunset with Jean there. Of course she's coming back.
Of course, she's the Phoenix.
What was your favourite part, Crowther?
Just when Dyken's everywhere.
Deken pops up here over there and taunting the big Titan guy. That was a pretty funny bit. I would have thought your favourite bit was the Deken screensaver when his whole face becomes the screen and he just starts laughing.
Yeah, I did like that when he's just there.
Suddenly Deken. That's a great shirt. Those pug dog shirts. It's a t-shirt.
The whole thing
is a pug dog face. I just want a whole Deken face laughing as a t-shirt. That'd be amazing. No one would know.
You can get an Oprah one of them too. That's right.
There's an what?
There's an Oprah one.
Of Oprah? What? Winfrey? Why?
What's that? It's on the Justin Offensive.
Oh, okay.
You know the guy that brings the fireworks? He's wearing it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's psycho.
That's psycho.
There's a potential shirt for you. What's your favourite bit, Brooksy?
I think it's when Corsair decides he's just going to fire on the Mcron crystal. What's our plan? I don't know. Shoot it. See what happens. How about you, Bender? What was your favourite part?
See, I think Routh stole my favourite bit when he's when his head keeps popping up, but I'll say when I like it when he just keeps getting bigger and bigger. By the end of it, he's so big there's no earth left to stand on. He's got the big Titan, which is like already 50 foot tall. Then he grabs him in his hands, so that would make him as big as Godzilla or whatever. And then Godzilla, and then there's nothing to stand on. That's why I think someone's too big for his own galaxy. That's when you get too big.
All right, Kraft, what's your favourite quote?
The favourite line.
Oh, I don't remember any lines.
You don't remember any lines. There is, prepared to be destroyed creature. You wish to see me behold. Wolverine goes, I got a real bad feeling we're next. Gambit said, who slam on the brakes? I am the Guardian. Teach me to... Ah! And then there's... what is the matter, Captain? I thought you were going to rescue you, said Chode. And then there's, you fools. Your foolishness amuses me. Oh, when he's waving at the Phoenix. Be gone, creature. There's a lot of gold here, guys.
Oh, the Gladiator one. It has no effect.
It has no effect. Says that a dozen times. Or when Storm goes, it's as if the earth has gone mad. So pick a favourite from there.
I'm just going to Chode one. More Chode.
More Chode. Yes, we've got another Chode fan here. Get your shirt, Kraft. It's green. It says more Chode.
What is wrong, Captain? We are ready to board the Imperial cruiser and retrieve you. No.
What is
Chode
the matter?
fan.
Chode fan. What is that? He's choking. Choking on the Chode. What is wrong, Captain? We're about to rescue you.
Not the first time, is it, Kraft?
Well, my favourite... Do I have to go through the lines again to remind you?
You can just tell.
I think I have to lock in... you fools. Your foolishness amuses
That's
me.
the same one I got.
Oh, well, do I have to pick another one? Anytime he laughs is pretty funny. Then I will lock in prepare to be destroyed, creature. Ah! And he punches him in the dirt chest. That was pretty fun.
Okay, so how do you rate this one?
This one is pretty good for me. Very entertaining, full of action, really funny. I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
No way, because that's exactly what I've
Ooh, copycat.
Kraft, what about you?
I was going to say 8.
8?
8 even.
8 even, 8 squared.
Okay. IMDb's got an 8.6.
There we go. We can all agree on that. All right, what we got for tally time, Brooksy?
So we've got a beast quote today. He says, I believe Emily Dickinson said it best. Parting is all we know of heaven and all we need of hell.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, that was Emily Dickinson, 1830 to 1886. My life closed twice before it's close. Beast gets another fascinating in.
Squeezes another one in.
So he's up to 7 now for fascinating.
He got in another one.
Claw draws. How many claw draws do you reckon we got this episode?
2.
2 is correct. So 2 plus 31, he's got 33 this season.
Mm-hmm.
All up, we're up to 136. No more bubs. We're still on 8. I'm not really counting the gene faints. They're just half faints.
Half faints.
Kind of things. So yeah, we're just going 5 for that. And yeah, sound effects. You said there was just the T-1000.
The T-1000 being frozen and shot and shattered. That's when Dickhead got punched into the ground. It's Generation Mailbag. What do you got for us, Brooksy?
We have another iTunes review.
Give me some.
This one is entitled, It's Still Real to Me. It's by Starman Mountain Wizard. It starts off, it says, I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. This is the great podcast for X-Men animated series. Really forever the best. And it's still real to me. And the Generation X-Men always proving it.
Very good. That's a very insider wrestling sort of joke there. Remember the Real Wrestling Fan that was on Tosh.0? That's what that review's telling us about. Thanks for that one. Was it Starman Mountain Wizard?
Starman Mountain Wizard, you got.
Yeah. Would you call this a review, Brooksy, or just a nice message?
We got that nice message from Marcus.
I'll read it out for us. Hey, Bender. Hey, Brooksy. As not an American accent, which I won't do that. My name is Marcus Frisbee, and I discovered your podcast last month. I've been hard at work at getting caught up on these past few weeks. X-Men was without a doubt my favourite cartoon when I was a kid, and I'm so excited to have found an excellent podcast to relive such an integral part of my childhood. I was listening to Out of the Past Part 2, and you two touched upon Cyclops and how he was using his optic beams in the sewers. You referenced back to Captive Hearts and how his powers didn't work in that episode. I thought I would try to help explain that inconsistency. First, some background. Back in the 60s when X-Men was created, it was established that Cyclops' power did indeed come from sunlight. He would absorb solar energy and turn it into his beams. If he ever went too long without getting sunlight, his blast would get weaker and weaker until he was finally tapped out and would need to recharge. This was eventually retconned, involving energy drawn from another dimension or some such nonsense. But by the time of the show's airing, the retcon had yet to come about, as far as I know. As for the inconsistency, I think it's best explained as such. In Captive Hearts, Leech had drained him of his powers, so he was out of juice. Since he was facing a future in the sewers, he was right to suggest to Callisto that his powers wouldn't work. In Out of the Past Part 2, he's presumably got a full charge at that point. Unless the fight against the Soul Drinker ran into an all-day affair, Psyche would be good to go for a while before needing to get topside to get some sunlight. He could recharge at night since moonlight is just reflected sunlight, but he doesn't recharge as well at night. Anyway, I hope that provides a reasonable explanation to the inconsistency, and as far as my knowledge base goes, it matches up with the established canon. I feel the need to defend Cyclops' honour. He is one of my favourites, and while you rightly take the piss out of him for some of his awkward lines, this one I couldn't let stand. Haha. I want to thank you two again for an awesome podcast. It's a barrel of laughs, and I have loved every minute of it. I find myself inserting some of your catchphrases into everyday occurrences. I can't suddenly think or write the word suddenly without immediately putting either Sabertooth or Sinister after it. My wife and I had a son this year, and I can't wait until he's old enough to watch the cartoon with me. And I can't wait until he's a little bit older than that so he can go back through the cartoon with me. But this time listening to the podcast along the way. Sorry for the coarse language, mate. Best, Marcus from New York State. P.S. Sorry for dissertation, but once I got on a roll, I couldn't help myself, man. No worries, mate. We're here to read it. Glad you like Cyclops.
Yeah.
And,
So he's clearly a Cyclops fan.
He's a Cyclops guy.
Which I think's good because we're very anti-Cyclops.
We are very anti-Cyclops.
It balances the podcast.
I know, dude. Marcus Frisbee, you are the balance that we need. Someone to defend Cyclops' honour and explain his whole power thing. That was really an interesting read because I wouldn't have been able to do that research myself.
No, and I wouldn't have bothered because it was Cyclops.
Oh, sorry, Marcus. Here's another catchphrase for you, Marcus. Every time Brooksy takes the piss out of Cyclops, I'm going to say, sorry, Marcus. Sorry, Mr. Frisbee. But, yeah, all that stuff, like now his energy beams are from a different dimension. I like the sunlight better.
Yeah, same.
Why did they change that? Keep him solar powered. Anyway, that's a good generation mailbag.
So, yeah, again, if you got something to say to us, write it in. We'll read it out.
We'll read it out and we'll love it.
Yeah, we love hearing from everyone. It's great.
And if there's a generation mailbag when Crowther's on board, he'll read it out.
Do I have to?
If everyone loves Crowther as much as Bender does, write in.
Write in Crowther review, and we will read a Crowther review as my favourite recurring character in the X-Men. Alright, Marvel movie news. New trailers dropped for Spider-Man Not Far From Home. He's only in England. What did everybody think of that?
It's felt very much like the first Spider-Man Homecoming. You got that, and then there was sort of the breakdown in the middle where what's his name? Fury shoots Ned in the neck.
His name is Ned, the fat Filipino
It's
guy.
Ned, isn't it?
I don't know. Let's call it Spidey's mate.
Spidey's big mate, you know.
I'm pretty sure it's Ned.
Goober.
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
The bloke who made the Death Star with the Legos. And Mysterio's in it, or Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. It's more about Jake Gyllenhaal showing up than the big fishbowl head. Do you remember him from the Spider-Man animated series, Crowther?
I do.
Yeah.
I did like the villains.
Yeah, the
when
villain
they showed.
Yeah, I like them because this is a gag just between me and Corey. He always had these hollow cubes that he'd chuck on the ground and they'd suddenly be in Africa or whatever. But it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of hollow cubes in Spider-Man Not Far From Home.
What's your you reckon he's going to have one of those masks that he touches the side of his head and it disappears?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Does anybody have a tangible mask anymore? It's just, he's like, what's his big line? You don't want to be a part of any of this. But the very next scene is him. He's touching his neck and the fishbowl comes over. It's like, does anybody just keep their mask on anymore? Is a secret identity not worth dick? Is there any mystery to Mysterio? No, it's just Jake Gyllenhaal and that's what he looks like.
His name is Ned.
Ned.
That's what he's in the credits.
Okay, good on Ned. Is Ned and the blonde girl, in a relationship now? Because
that was the they thought maybe.
In the trailer when there's like a
Betty.
Hey, Betty. Okay, Betty Brandt.
It just says Betty.
Well, anyway, Betty, when they're at the airport, they're like shoulder to shoulder, being I don't know, lovey-dovey. So they're probably a thing now, which is pretty cool. Big Ned getting Betty Crowfire. How? Probably showed her the Lego Death Star he made. But yeah, like there was two trailers. There's an international trailer and then there was the regular trailer. The international trailer started with Aunt May packing the spider suit into the suitcase before he went on his Euro trip. And in the trailer we see Spider-Man. He's alive and well. He survived the snap. Like nothing ever happened.
No, I just told you what happened.
What happened?
They went back in time. He never got off the bus.
He never got off the bus. What is that? He's on the bus to the airport.
He's on the bus to the airport at the start of Avengers, and yeah, he just never got off the bus.
Oh, Infinity War. He's the hair stands up on his arm. He looks out the window and goes, don't worry about it.
No, that never happened.
Oh, it never happened at all?
It never showed up.
Oh, okay, so he's just straight.
That's right, he sits on the bus.
He's just straight on the bus to
That's
the airport.
how Fury's still alive.
Okay, that all makes sense. I think, is that what you've been doing? Just watching breakdowns and following theories and connecting up lines to your little
I go down a lot of YouTube rabbit holes, right? And it's hard to get back out.
Follow the white rabbit. But yeah, in the trailer, they're in England, and then they go to Venice to find location of the Holy Grail. And then
Venice.
Ark of the Covenant. You sure? Pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
And then
Rats.
right as they pop out and about to get on the boats, when they're being chased by the Fezzes,
Petroleum, just sink well down in the toe.
Mysterio shows up with Hydro Man, Sandman, and some sort of fireman, I believe, in the trailer, right? And he's fighting Hydro Man.
It's the Brotherhood of the Crucible Sword. Drop me off at this jet.
Why are you trying to kill us?
Because we're looking for the Holy Grail.
My father was looking for the Holy Grail. You want to kill him too?
No!
Where is he? Talk, are you dead? Damn it, tell me! Tell me!
We can't just keep doing this.
Wait for
Crawford to jump in.
Crawford to jump in, because you and I could do Last Crusade start to finish.
love
I
Crusade.
just want to let you.
My soul is prepared.
How's yours?
How's yours?
No, Dr. Jones. It's yours.
It's hard to do that guy
Yeah.
and Henry Jones together because they sort of sound the same, right?
Yeah.
Junior? Yes, sir. It is you, Junior.
Don't call me that, please.
What are you doing here? Pushing along. That's a machine. What the hell were we up to? Mysterio shows up. Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm going to call him Jake Gyllenhaal because he's not Mysterio. Because he's not wearing a fishbowl. And we know what he looks like. There's no mystery to him. He shows up. He's all green. He looks like he's got the real deal Mysterio suit on. Looks pretty good. He says his line, "You guys don't want anything to do with this." And then we can assume that he touches his neck. The fishbowl comes on. And he starts fighting the giant Hydro Man.
Hell, even Buzz Lightyear has that. He touches that thing and the helmet
But
goes
it's
over.
still on him, isn't it? It doesn't disappear completely
Well, it does. It like disappears back into him.
into his body.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't see. It's just all nanotechnology with the MCU.
That's right.
It's just
They just
a
don't
little
have
bit
pockets
away.
in their suits, so they're going to keep their masks.
don't have their pouches. How about leave your mask on, eh?
You had the Mysterio action figure, didn't
Yeah.
you? Is it just me, or did he squirt something?
He
out or something?
had he had a squirter on his back that you connected to his front, and it came out. I think you made the joke even when we were kids. Why does it come out of his nipple? Because
That's what I remember.
he had two badges on his chest, like around nipple height. And you squeeze the water and shoots out.
That's what I remember.
And even as a kid, Brooksy was foul and heinous. Why are they coming out of his nipples? And
Why is he lactate?
I probably got real hot about it. They're not his nipples, they're the badges, and it's supposed to be missed. I probably got real hot about it, to be honest. But yeah, I had that one, and yeah, no button to push and get rid of his fishbowl. It wasn't Jake Gyllenhaal's face underneath. But yeah, at the end of the trailer, we see Flash Gordon, who's not a big jock anymore. He's the super spelling bee kid. He says he's Mysterio. Who is that guy? He's kind of like a cross between Tony Stark and Thor. And then he says, "Oh, I love Spider-Man." Blah blah blah. Says to Peter Parker,
awesome.
"What do you do? What are you looking at, dickweed?" or something like that. Peter Parker gives him the big thumbs up. Also in the trailer, you see Nick Fury saying, "Oh, you got to step up and be better than what you are. With great power comes great responsibility." Whatever. Then Nick Fury's going to get shot by a bugger.
And then he's going to go emo.
And then he's going to go emo. And then what? Happy Hogan was hitting on Aunt May, right in front of Peter. That's great. I hope that's a reoccurring thing that they always hit on Aunt May right in front of Peter Parker.
They are.
That's going to be great, especially when Thor shows up, starts hitting on. Because he's got no chance. Big bloody hunky Thor, cleaning up. But yeah, also in that you see like Spider-Man's got a new suit. The sleeves are black instead of blue, and in another,
He also popped down in that black suit.
yeah, in the
Full
black sort of Spider-Man noir suit. I assume he was breaking in to steal some jewelry or something. He went full ninja. I wager it's just a way to sell more action figures.
Yeah.
We've got the black and red, blue and red, and then the totally black Spider-Man, and that's why I've got Fireman, Hydro Man, and Sandman, and Mysterio. With head-swapping action.
Where's Airman?
And nipple shit. Ant-Man.
Airman. You got fire, water,
Airman. I was like Mega Man.
Earth, fire, wind, water, heart.
Don't start this up again. Need to get off this power. This is Captain Planet train.
Generation Captain Planet.
It's happening. It's happening.
It's disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, I went and saw Aquaman.
Oh, disgusting. Why? Why did you?
You
give
straight
them
up
that terrible name?
boycotted all the
It looks
DC.
ridiculous.
So it's not just Aquaman; it's all DC, right? They all
Well,
look
how many
boring.
times do you have to show up to one of their movies, be disappointed, and then go, you know what? I'm going to sign up for that again.
You got burnt twice, right?
Every time. There's been no good DC movie since Batman Returns. Prove me wrong.
What about when Mr. Freeze freezes that guy
Need I say any more? Was there any walking in that movie?
and he says, "Iceman cometh"? The Iceman cometh. Krath, are you boycotting all DC as well? Or is he just like, I'm not interested in this. Get out of here with your
I
fish.
wasn't for or against it so much. I just didn't get around to seeing it.
Didn't get around to see it. Still time. You can probably see
Nah, it's over.
Yeah, I get it.
Did you boycott Venom as well?
No, I just can't be fucked.
There's a lot of this couldn't be fucked. Well, your attitude very blasé. Brooksy is, I hope they burn.
They're just not drawing me in.
Yeah. What do you
exactly.
Think,
So don't go see it.
what do you think could draw you in?
Being a part of the MCU.
So if Jake Gyllenhaal rocks up underwater, he's got the fishbowl on there.
No, there's no stupid Aquaman in bloody MCU.
There is. There's, never mind. I won't get. It's Hydro Man. Come on, he's right in the trailer there. Except he can't talk to fish. But anyway, I went and saw Aquaman. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's doing super business worldwide. First DC film to do $1 billion worldwide. And I reckon it's going to change the trajectory of all the sort of DCEU films, because this one was pretty good.
How was it pretty good? What was different about it?
For me, I think it felt like it had an entertainment value. I mean,
so the rest of them aren't entertaining?
Batman vs Superman, for the most part, not very entertaining, because the main character of that is like the media. I spent more time with the reporters than I did with Batman. Like, coming up next, we're going to tell you why Superman's bad. And then the Batman's burning criminals on the chest, and now they're going to jail. So why can't we see Batman lasering more kryptonite? Why am I spending time watching Superman make eggs while he's watching the news? I was like, I don't need to see this. But I'd say, like, the highs in Batman vs Superman weren't as low as the lows in Batman vs.
There was highs in Batman vs Superman.
The warehouse fight. Did you see that one, Crowther, where Batman straight up kills all those people?
Yeah.
That was pretty good to me. That was one of the best action sequences I've ever seen. But the lows, Superman frying eggs without a shirt on, watching the news, that's not what hashtag not my Superman. And for Aquaman, I really enjoyed it because there's
no egg cooking.
No egg cooking.
It's hard to cook them underwater, man.
Someone did eat a goldfish, though. Spoiler alert, if you're a big fan of goldfish.
Did he talk to it?
No, he talked to like all these sorts of sharks, and you're not going to see it, right?
No, of course I'm not going to see it.
Are you going to watch it on Foxtel?
I'll watch it on Foxtel when it's in there, like bloody 2 years or whatever it comes over there.
Well, he talks to all the fish, and he gets all the fish to fight for him, and Free Willy's in it.
Get 'em, fish.
Free Willy's in it, and he headbutts the bad guy.
Well, why don't the bad guys just get off the beach? Fight him in the desert.
Fight him in the shallows.
You just be there, just flapping on the ground.
Just plug a toaster in, throw it in the ocean. Dead Aquaman.
Yeah. Or just get all them 6-pack holders, throw them in there. You'd be stuffed then. You're stuck in that 6-pack holder.
You know, when we all three of us went and saw Power Rangers, right? And we were thoroughly disappointed with that. I think Aquaman is one of the best Power Rangers movies that we'll ever see.
Rita Repulsa was it?
It's like, you know, had the big stocky suits that they walk around in Power Rangers? That's what Aquaman looks like. All the elite guard, they just look like
they're in Zords.
Captain Zed. You know, they look like in Zords. And a Black Manta, he looks like a Goldar, but spray painted black. And it's got that sort of cheesy feel to it.
I don't know what Power Rangers you watched. There was no Fish Zord. I don't remember Fish Zord.
Where did the Green Rangers thing come out? It come out of the water, right?
That wasn't in the movie. No.
But yeah, to me, Aquaman is the best Power Rangers movie we'll ever see. So if that doesn't sweeten the deal for you, Crowfer, nothing will.
Did it have an awesome kick?
Eh?
The
the riff. What I liked about Aquaman that was sort of related to the X-Men animated series, they had character specific musical themes. Like, you know how Wolverine has the cool thing and Cable has a each of the characters in Aquaman had that sort of thing too. So Aquaman had his theme, Black Manta had his theme, and so did the Ocean Master, Prince Orm.
The Ocean Master.
The Ocean Master.
What should we call this guy?
The Ocean Master of the
Isn't that a
universe.
fishing show?
That's Bassmaster.
It's a fishing show.
Yeah, I know Bassmaster.
I know. God damn it, stop quoting Ghostbusters too. It's an
Grace.
inferior product, right, Crowfer? Oh no, let's not use our proton packs. Let's use GAC to destroy the monsters.
There's too much gack. River of slime. Too much slime.
So there was the entertainment value. The fight scenes were outstanding. The visuals were really cool. The heroic moments were heroic, and no sort of undercuts of that sort of what I call the Marvel cutter. When something serious is happening, the joke comes in to cut it off. There was none of that. So it was like all sort of taking the Power Ranger silliness serious, if that makes sense. So when I asked me what I'd rate it, Brooksy.
So what would you rate this out of 1?
It's a 10, Brooksy.
Oh, turn it up.
10. It is
turn
a 10.
it up.
I saw it twice. First time I watched it, I thought, oh, this is a 10. But I'm thinking, no, look.
saw it twice.
The Bender, you're too excited. You've finally seen a DC movie that's good. You're just overpraising it. So, okay, I'll let it sit for a bit. So I waited and watched it again. Come out, I still think it's a 10.
Tell you what, when it comes on Foxtel, I'll give you my review.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
And I'll tell you how many stars out of 1 I'm going to give.
I wager it sound a lot like my Ant-Man review.
Hey, Ant-Man's a lot better than that.
And my Guardians 2 review.
Hey, Guardians 2 is good too.
Get out of here, Mary Poppins.
See, that's great.
What is that? The best bit of Guardians 2, a Mary Poppins joke. I couldn't tell you anything else that happens in Guardians.
It's got
2.
some really good music.
All
a lot
right.
of that's really cool.
Mm.
Especially when Yondu and that take back over the ship.
Oh yeah, with that, and he gets his new mohawk plugged back in.
Pretty epic, that scene. Yeah, when he's trying to get his new mohawk, it's a prototype fin. That's my underwear. Please tell me you have a bunch of 7 human body parts on board. Nope.
Wow.
Okay, let's never speak of this again.
Do you remember lines from those movies? I can't remember any lines. Hey, Bender, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, do I have any lines in my head? There's nothing that comes to mind.
You need to say it more than once.
I don't want to see it.
Say that's your problem.
Kurt Russell dies.
Kurt Russell is
Can't kill Tombstone.
He's not Tombstone. He's Ego. He needs to die.
Unacceptable.
He's a 1-inch man.
Have you seen all the Ant-Man's, Crowther?
I think I've seen the first one.
Seen the first one? Do you
Like on TV, so missed half of it.
You're not a fan of Paul Rudd either. See, Bender's anti-Paul Rudd.
I'm anti-Ant-Man.
No, you're anti-Paul Rudd.
Anti-Paul Rudd.
I
You
don't
don't
mind
like
Paul Rudd.
anti-Paul Rudd movies.
Role models, I thought of one. I liked him in
You
role
like
models.
role models.
Like role models. That's the Paul Rudd. Hashtag my Paul Rudd is role models Paul Rudd. But Sean William Scott really steals that movie.
You reckon?
Oh, for sure. I'm guessing they don't want us to butt-fuck these kids. There's nothing that Paul Rudd says that's better than that.
What's his name? in
Looks
that
like
one?
Shrek's piss.
Is
There
that
we go.
Wheeler?
Wheeler, that's
Is he
right.
Wheeler in
He's
that one?
Wheeler. But yeah, that's it for my tiny little Aquaman review. $1 billion worldwide. Bender liked it. 10 out of 10. He's got his staff and he talks to the fish. Oh, and he rides the Kraken. You know.
Oh, of course he does.
Oh, and there's an. You remember Super Friends? He had a pet octopus.
Yes.
It's in it. It is in the movie. He has a pet octopus.
Now I'm really going to see it.
It plays the drums when they fight.
Oh, Jesus.
Tell you what would have really put it over the top for me if he rode a shark and stood on it like Van Damme stood on a motorbike in Hard Target. That would have, I would have just...
Or would have been 11 out of 10.
Would have been 11 out of 10. Like, you know, in Spider-Man Homecoming, if Michael Keaton repurposed his lines from Batman towards the Vulture, he grabs somebody and goes, I'm Vulture. Or if he smashes a vase and says, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. Or if he was in the Vulture suit and he went up into the moon, stalled in front of the moon and then tipped back down and started flying at Spider-Man. And Spider-Man says, all right, you gruesome son of a bitch.
What about if
Come to me.
Spider-Man grabbed him by the face, threw him back, said, you go on jail?
Yes! Oh, my goodness.
Sure.
That movie would have got 10 out of 10 just for that. If there was one Batman reference with Michael Keaton, I would have given it 10 out of 10, but they denied me. So I've got a vendetta against Spider-Man. That's it for Marvel movie news and the DC plug time. All right, let's take it home. Find our podcast on iTunes, Podcast Addict, Pocket Casters, Stitcher, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate us, and give us a review. I cannot stress how important these reviews are, guys. Pretty please, the sugar on top, take 5 minutes and give us an iTunes review. We want stars and feedback, people. So if you've got something to say, we'll read it out loud. Like and share our page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at GenXmenPod for Meme Monday, Marvel movie news, and all things X-Men. Or you can body slide into our Facebook DMs or contact us by email, generationxmenpodcast@gmail.com. So what's up for us next time, Brooks?
A bit of a story for next episode.
Oh, I'm ready.
We're going to do No Mutant is an Island. So this is the script number 34. So this is supposed to be the one that comes right after 33. But it wasn't released until season 5, episode 10.
Right.
Because this is when they were started to try and save money, so they were sending it to all these different animation studios, and it come back and it was all the wrong colours and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we are going to follow the previous X-Men book, and we're going to go in script order. So the next one is No Mutant is an Island.
Oh, really? So does this mean you'll have to skip ahead on your DVDs?
Correct. The DVD, it's going to be in season 5, episode 10.
Oh, so what is the DVD follow-up episode? Do you know?
Yeah, it's one that comes up in a couple of episodes. I think it's like the Savage Land one or something like that.
The Sauron one or something
Savage
like that.
Land Strange Heart. I think it's that
Oh,
one.
okay. Oh, this will be the first time I've watched it, or would have watched it
In correct order.
in the correct,
Yes.
super correct order.
The way it was intended
The way it was, yeah, that's right.
to be watched is the way we're going to podcast.
Oh, this is new for me. All right, that's it from us here at Generation X-Men. Wherever you are in the world, thanks for listening, and we hope you had a decent shot of X-Men nostalgia. Thanks for coming, Crowth. I really appreciate it, matey.
Yeah,
No worries.
We won't need you again until things get desperately funny, and I just want to shock you with the episode.
He has got like 10 episodes and then Juggernaut returns.
Oh,
More
well, that's Juggernaut's your thing. You may have to do like a redo episode where you bring him back for the very first Juggernaut episode. Let's think of getting ahead of ourselves. Could be a special bonus episode, depending if we're that keen or not. Next time, we've got No Mutant is an Island with breakdown, tally time, claw draw, mutant merch, and maybe Marvel movie news. Like the Terminator, we'll be back, and we look forward to your company then. Thanks for hosting, Brooksy.
No worries, Bender. Take it easy, mate.
Hasta la vista.
See ya.